What is good, everyone? Welcome back to Cleveland Sports Unfiltered. So, with the news that Giannis prefers destinations, and I think like a deal has been done or something like that. Um, Giannis is going to another team or prefers other teams outside of Cleveland. Um, with that news, I wanted to look at other guys who the Cavs can trade for and not necessarily. Um, I don't think the first trade. I got two trades. I don't think the first trade changes the look of the Cavaliers as far as overwhelming like title contenders in the or Eastern Conference champ favorite. Um, and I do have another trade that I do think will put them over the top, at least in the Eastern Conference, or have a chance to put them over the top. But it is risky. I'll get to that second. But the first trade that I was thinking of, and also these trades are trades that doesn't involve Evan Mobley. The Cavs are super eager not to give up on him, and with these two trade proposals that I have in mind, neither one of them involves trading Evan Mobley. Again, the first trade is we call Dallas and we send Dallas Max Struess and Dennis Schroeder for PJ Washington and Caleb Martin. Um, Dallas will be getting a much needed floor spacer for wow Cooper Flag. Sorry, and another floor general ball handler. He's not a super floor general, but another secondary ball handler to take the ball sometimes out of Cooper Flag's hands. And also, again, you get a knockdown 3-point shooter, a guy who brings toughness, and Max Strus, and they get his expiring contract. And I think PJ Washington contract kicks in, but it's nothing too crazy. I think it's 22 a year, 22 million a year. You get the better Dean Wade replacement. You get what Dean Wade is supposed to be. A good 3-point shooter. I think he averaged 14 points a game, like 35% from the three. You know, the not a great 3-point shooter, but a better than Dean Wade, and you won't have to look him off constantly 3-point shooter. Um, and Caleb Martin, you get a energy guy, a 3-and-D guy who does have finals experience, and so does PJ Washington. Actually, both you get two guys with massive, finals experience, and Caleb Martin had finals experience with the Heat in 23. Yeah, the Heat in 23, and then obviously we know a few years ago, PJ Washington was on the team that went to the finals with the Dallas Mavericks with Luka and Kyrie, who came up short to the Boston Celtics. Um, Again, I don't think this trade, changes the title outcome, but I do think it changes like the outlook of how people look at the Cavs. I do think you get um a tough guy in PJ Washington. He can play the small ball five. He fits. He will fit perfectly with Evan because you need somebody who can space. He's not the greatest rebounder, but he plays hard. Same with Caleb Martin. He plays hard. On the defensive end, he can definitely knock down the 3-point shot. He's not the greatest 3-point shooter in the world, but he's definitely serviceable. Um, and again, like I said, not going to really change the title outlook. It's not going to make us the overwhelming favorite, or like take us and hey, this is the trade that's going to get the Cavs over the hump. I'm not saying that's what this is, but you know, you, these two guys, and especially you're going to lose, you might lose Dean Wade, so you get a way better Dean Wade replacement. He's just as big as Dean Wade. He's a better shooter. He's definitely more fearless than Dean Wade. He definitely is not going to be afraid to shoot the ball. He is a no nonsense type of guy. You need that toughness. Again, that's what I said. Changes the outlook of how people perceive the Cavs with this trade. Now, I do have another trade. Again, I stated it earlier. This is the risky one. And the trade is again, some people might not like this. Some people may think it's crazy and will not want to do it and say absolutely no. But I think, you know, in this trade gets you a better player than Donovan Mitchell, who for most of us, the logical fans, we all can admit Donovan Mitchell can't be the best player on the championship team. And that's okay. He can definitely be a Robin, but he can't be a best player on a championship team. This guy can. Again, risk. I'll talk about the risk, but the risk, not the risk, the trade is, call in the Los Angeles Clippers and trading for Kawhi Leonard. Now, there will have to be players and picks. Players that can go is, Dennis Schroeder, Sam Merrill, and Jared, especially Jared Allen, will definitely be the centerpiece of the trade. Um, Also, the 20, I think it's 26 this year's pick, this year first round pick, and a future one will definitely, you know, entice, and it, cap reasons, it can get the trade done. Now the risk, um, if anybody hasn't been keeping up with the Clippers, which most of us really haven't, but if you are really into the NBA, we all know Kawhi Leonard is under investigation for potentially taking money under the table from the Clippers, and it's a whole debacle of a situation. Steve Ballmer's been investigated. The guy from the company, it's a whole situation that I'm not. I keep up with it, but I'm not as super knowledgeable. I know somebody's been in prison for it, for fraud, and it's just a whole crazy situation. And the Clippers definitely can be fined and taken and stripped of multiple first round picks. So, and not yeah, multiple first round picks and fined, and Kawhi Leonard could have his contract voided, but who knows? They're slow walking this thing to the umpteenth degree, which is understandable because you got the NBA Finals currently going on right now, and they don't want that to overshadow the what is a good NBA Finals series is going on right now. But the and then you also have to deal with the aspect of what the Toronto Raptors dealt with. Kawhi walking and you basically getting nothing in return. But if you can get the championship, and that to me that'd be worth it in my opinion. That'd be worth it. If you can trade for Kawhi, he's most certainly better than Donovan Mitchell. And he's played good. He's still an elite player. He averaged 28 points per game, 6.4 rebounds, at 3.6 assists this season on 50%, 50.5%, 50.5% from the field, 38.7% from three, and 89% from the line on 89.2% true shooting percentage. So he's still an elite player. He's still an elite player. He's still he's not the claw of old on the defensive end, but he's still a hell of a defensive player. And if you can add that with Evan Mobley, uh, if you could add him with Evan Mobley, and you still got the feisty guys off the bench. Certain guys have to step up. Proctor have to step up. Um, Jalen Tyson will have to take another step up, but I do think Kawhi Leonard do, does change the title outlook for the Cavaliers. I do think he can be the missing piece, and I do think he can put them over the hump. Now, I know another concern is like, hey, Kawhi Leonard is super injury prone. Now, he did play 65. He played 65 games last year. Again, to many people, that's not a lot, but to if you know Kawhi Leonard, if you follow his career, that's a lot for him. You don't have that many seasons of those many games played, but and he played through the playoff game. It was play-in game, the play-in game. He played in play-in game. He didn't have a particularly great game, but everybody's do a bad game, but he's still an elite player. He's still a top 20 player. I do think he's a player that's better than Donovan Mitchell, and I do think he's obviously shown he can be an alpha dog of a championship team, and he can lead the team to a championship. Um, but those are just I was just looking into other trades outside of the Giannis trade that the Cavaliers can do to improve the roster because as constructed, we are not good enough. And watching the NBA finals and then watch how we played, rewatched how we played, we are not good enough. We are not good enough. But I most certainly think that Kawhi Leonard trade definitely will um get us can get it not will it can have and it has the potential to get us over the hump and get us past and get us to the NBA finals. Again, I know the risk. Most of the people who do follow, you may not want to deal with Uncle Dennis and all of the shit he asked for and the whole Uncle Dennis thing. If you don't know, just look into it. But if you know, again, the injuries and this may be a Toronto thing all over again. But again, if you can get a championship, worth it in my opinion. But those are just two trades that I think the Cavs can make outside of the Giannis trade and not trading Evan Mobley being a part of it. That way, either you could get two more guys who can fit around the core, the the, the big three, or you can go all out and get an alpha guy and get a championship leading guy and Kawhi Leonard. That's just my thoughts. You guys let me know what you think about that in the comment section down below. Appreciate you guys for hitting that like button, and I really appreciate you guys for continuing to smash that subscribe button because it gets this content pushed out to a broader audience. But y'all know what I'm about to tell y'all. You guys don't gotta go home, but y'all gotta get the hell up out of here. And until next time, peace.